Hey guys, welcome back to 1776 or Bust. So tonight's the night. Tonight is going to be the night where I decide, in my opinion, what is really the top gun for me. Now, at the end of the video, there may not be a surprise to this, but honestly, I tried to be as open-minded as possible about this, and I narrowed it down to 5 choices. Now, the 5 choices I selected it was a difficult choice because there's a lot of great handguns that I was able to get my hands on. I will also preface this by saying that I could not afford to get every single gun that was released this year, so I never had a chance to shoot the Beretta APX or some of these other handguns out there. Now, of course, the guns that I did select may not be a surprise. Some of you may be surprised, but at the same time, I tried to get a very wide, I guess you could say, example of guns that I own. And unfortunately, I couldn't drag all of them out to the range due to financial issues with the ammunition. I shot 1,000 rounds today, and it's not cheap, that's for sure. Now, the 5 choices that I picked, and I'll show them up to you right now, and then we'll get to the table and I'll kind of go through each one, what I found, what was good, what was kind of, a little bit more, or I should say need a little bit more practice with. And then at the end, I'm going to ultimately come up with a decision that suits me the best. Now, I also want to make sure that nobody gets their feelings hurt in this, because I will tell you there are no Glocks. I didn't have a chance to get a Glock Gen 5 this year. I just didn't want to spend the money on it. So unfortunately, with a smaller channel, it's basically the power of the purse. And at that point, I just didn't have the extra cash to drop on that Glock. But you never know, maybe in the future. So the first gun that I selected, which was kind of a surprise for me, is actually going to be the SP01 Phantom. And, for me, it was a tough choice to pick this because it is the only hammer-fired gun that I have in the top 5. And, the gun overall, it's got to be one of the best CZs I've ever shot. But we'll talk more about that as we go through it. The other gun that I decided to choose was actually this one, and this is, again, not going to be a surprise. This is the M&P 2.0. This is their 4¼ inch barrel. I don't have the compact as of yet, but I will be getting that shortly. So look forward to that in 2018 when I get a chance to shoot that. But I decided to pick this because with the upgraded trigger for the Apex, it's amazing to shoot. I actually chose this one also. Just did a video on this the other day, but this is the VP9. And I chose it because even though it's not a brand new gun for 2017, it's a new reintroduction to the gun for me. And again, I wanted to put it through its paces. I want to give it a chance to rank up there with all the other handguns. Another gun that I selected was actually not a surprise here, the Cz P10C. This gun is just, in my opinion, just a great gun, and there's really not much else that can be improved upon it. I shot the snot out of this gun this year. This one has now about 2,000 rounds through it, and so far it's been pretty darn good. Again, the last gun I selected, which is not going to be a surprise to most of you, the Steyr. Now, I could have chosen the M9 because I have a lot of rounds through that, but because the L9 was new to me more recently, I decided to pick the L9 because, in my opinion, the L9 meets all the qualifications for a great handgun. Now, before we get to the table, I just want to say a couple of things to everyone who has supported the channel, the people who follow the channel, who subscribe to the channel, who leave great comments, to all the companies out there that have helped supply some of the goodies that I've had to be able to show you and be able to use. I just want to say thank you very much. When I started the channel, I really had no clue where this was going to go. The channel grows. It's not the most popular channel, but 3,600 subscribers later, I'm pretty happy with that, and I owe it really all to you. And the companies that have sent me stuff to test, to try out, to use and abuse, I want to say thank you as well, because you've never once asked me to basically shill for you on camera. Sometimes it's burned some bridges. Sometimes it's created better relationships. But for the most part, thanks very much. Now let's get to the table. Hey guys, welcome back to the table. On the table, you see the 5 guns that I've chosen as candidates for Gun of the Year. Now, again, I will repeat what I said in the beginning. I didn't necessarily have every single gun that was released this year. Believe me, guys, I wish I could, but unfortunately I couldn't. So there are some, guns that you may or may not have that you like a little bit better than these 5 choices. But again, this is my video of what I think were really just great choices for me this year. Now, I'm going to go in no discernible order. I'll wait till the end to reveal which one I thought was the best of all of them. So I'm going to start off with the Cz P10C. Now, I've got to say, guys, this has been probably one of the most popular handguns that's been released all year. The gun, you know, has a couple of little quirks here. You know, the slide lock or slide release is a bear to try to get it to work when it's loaded. The mag release kind of is a little stiff when the gun is loaded. But I mean, overall, the gun, in my opinion, is just a fantastic firearm. Cz really, in my opinion, did a great job with this handgun. It shoots very, very well. It's an extremely accurate handgun. The stock trigger that came with it is excellent. You can see this is an HB Industries trigger on here. And, you know, the stippling, everything about the gun was perfect. In my opinion, the ergonomics are excellent. I would say that they're on par with some of the best handguns that have been out for a little bit longer. In this case, the P10, I think, really was phenomenal. And this one has about 2,000 rounds through it. There have been a couple of hiccups and some bobbles along the way, but I think that's expected for a gun that just came out and, you know, really took the market by storm. Of course, we'll take the VP9. I just did a video on this the other day. And the VP9, again, is a fantastic gun. Now, I know it's not the most newest gun in 2017, but as I said in the video I made the other night, this gun for me is kind of a reintroduction to this line. I've had 3 of them. I've decided that I really want to just kind of get this gun and just shoot it and just feel comfortable with it and really learn how to enjoy the gun a little bit better than I did in the past. Right now, very happy with it. Everything is good. The ergonomics are really, really good. I did switch the backstrap to the small and then the 2 large sides, and the gun felt great shooting today. Again, I shot 1,000 rounds, 200 apiece. This shot very well. The trigger is a good trigger. I don't necessarily think it's the best. I can't stand that little crevice that they put in there. It sucks. And the only other issue I had, once again, was riding the slide release. But other than that, fit and finish is excellent. It's a nice shooting gun. I would tell you overall, this one felt like it had the most noticeable recoil, which I thought was interesting, comparatively speaking. This one definitely had the most recoil that I felt. The P10 had the second most, but both guns easily controllable. They are 9mm, but again, pretty darn accurate. The next gun on the table, which is kind of the oddball of all of them, is the hammer-fired gun. This is double single action, and this is the Cz Phantom. I got this a couple of weeks back. Right now, this has a total of 400 rounds through it, and I did put an $18 spring kit in here from Cajun Gun Works. Very easy to do. Basically just drop this roll pin, pull everything out, and then replace all the springs that are needed to be replaced. And I will tell you, it has made this gun a much, much more enjoyable gun to shoot. It just feels great in the hand. You've got the decocking lever here, even though it's not an ambi feature. I still think this gun is probably one of the best guns that Cz has come out with. Again, remember, this is a re-release with the more reinforced polymer, but this gun is amazing. Definitely my favorite full-size Cz. I love this gun much more than I did the P09. Other than that, it shot really well, but I have to say I need more time behind the trigger, especially with the double action. With that spring kit, the hammer pull on here is a lot smoother, and once you get to that one point, it doesn't take much more to drop the hammer. Again, the single action on here is very nice. And then it's just so light, and 400 rounds later, the trigger feels even crisper, even smoother. What a great addition. So fantastic gun, guys, and it shoots excellently, especially once you start to zero it in. The only downside of this, of course, is going to be the sights. The M&P 2.0. What can I say, guys? This gun, once again, in my opinion, Smith & Wesson hit a home run with the M&P 2.0 series. Now, I don't have a compact. Like I said, I will be getting one here hopefully within a couple of weeks. I'll do a review on that in 2018, but I really am looking forward to it. There's been a lot of great reviews out there, and there are a lot of people out there that really like that gun. This, while it was very underwhelmingly received initially, I have to tell you guys, this gun is, in my opinion, a fantastic firearm. It shoots reasonably well. I have had no issues with this. The recoil is very minimal feeling, and I think that is because of the reinforced steel frame in the front. The trigger, while that stupid hinge trigger that Smith & Wesson keeps making is terrible in my opinion. However, with the Apex upgrade, this gun is just ridiculous to shoot. You know, I still need some more time behind the trigger. The trigger is fairly light. Again, very, very great. In my opinion, the best upgrade you can make on a Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0, without a doubt. Of course, last but not least, and again, remember guys, I'm not going through any real discernible order at all. I'm just kind of going through what worked, you know, what guns I have. The Steyr L9. Now, obviously, people who've watched the channel, you guys all know that I love Steyr pistols. I'd like to believe that somehow I've had a lot of influence in getting some of you to go out there and take a chance on these guns. And some of you have actually responded after you've done that and have agreed that the gun is phenomenal. Again, I don't work for Steyr. It'd be nice if they send me a gun, but I don't work for them. And I've got to tell you that I've been so happy with this handgun. The M9 is fantastic. That has over, I think, 1,500 rounds through it. This one now has 450 rounds through it. And it just keeps getting better and better and better. There is absolutely nothing to complain about with this handgun. You'll notice I actually put some orange on the front there. That's just, you know, hobby paint, bright orange. And it shows up really, really well at the range. This gun shoots like a friggin' laser, guys. It's just awesome. Absolutely awesome. All right, so let's talk about, and again, I do apologize. This video is going to be long, guys. But bottom line is, why did I consider these 5 as the great choices for 2017? You know, the M&P 2.0, I think when they created it, while it was underwhelming, there were so many good possibilities for this handgun, you know, and when Apex made the trigger, it actually increased the value of this gun exponentially. And what I mean by that is that while that hinge trigger wasn't that great, it wasn't that bad. But with the addition of this trigger, this gun is fantastic. Everything about it. The grip, the stippling, everything on here feels really comfortable. The way this, the bottom of the actual grip, including the base plate of the magazine, the way my hand feels on there, it just feels so secure that it just, I really can't complain. If there was one thing that I didn't like about the gun, I would tell you that this undercut here doesn't feel that great. I actually like the longer beaver tail that the old M&Ps had. You know, they decided to get rid of that, and it's not a problem because your hand still sits pretty low underneath the slide. But I just think if this undercut was a little bit deeper, or maybe an extension of that beaver tail, the gun would be even more shootable. Not saying that it's not a shootable gun, guys. I'm just saying for me, that's what I've noticed about it. The VP9, fantastic gun. The undercut is deep. The ergonomics are great. I need more range time behind this gun. It's almost like a reinvention of it, or at least a re-acknowledgement of the gun for me. I'm very happy that I have it. I can't wait to spend more time at the range with it. You know, the grip tape I put on here is working great. I had a really nice purchase on this gun, and I absolutely think that this was a smart choice for me to pick this gun up again. The Phantom. Guys, if you do not have a Phantom and you want to pick up a CZ, that's a polymer gun, but you don't want the P10, trust me, go get a Phantom. There's a lot of people out there who will say get a P07, great gun. P09, great gun. Phantom, even better. It meets every requirement. It's carryable. It's a big full-size gun. If you live in a free state, you obviously will have the extended magazines. I don't, so these are flat-faced or flat-based 10 rounders, which sucks. But at the same time, this gun feels so good in the hand. It's nice and thin. Typical Cz 75 ergonomics. You can't go wrong with it. And that beaver tail, the way it swoops up, it just encapsulates the hand so well. You get a nice purchase on the gun, easily controllable recoil because of how long the slide is. Excellent gun. This is becoming one of my favorites, guys. Now, with those 3, I'm going to move them out. I'm going to show you my 2 finalists, which may not be a surprise. The 2 finalists that I have selected are actually the Steyr L9 and the Cz P10. These guys, in my opinion, for me, and it's only for me, guys, again, not you may or may not agree with this. These 2 guns for me have become my favorite guns that I own. The P10 is absolutely phenomenal. It came with a great stock trigger. The slide finish is excellent. The ergonomics are excellent. The grip texture is just the right amount of I guess you can say texturing without being overly aggressive. It really has been a pleasure to shoot. It is extremely accurate. I love this gun. There's no doubt. As a matter of fact, I love it so much, I got another one on the way. That's how much I love this handgun. The Steyr L9. You guys know I love the Steyr pistols. I had an S9, which I sold, unfortunately, to try to, fund some other things. I have an M9, which is going absolutely nowhere. And now I have this L9, which in my opinion is still the best of all of them. And this gun will be in my collection forever. So will the M9. In regards to the Steyr, I'm going to just flat out tell you that everything about this gun is excellent. The ergonomics are second to none. Your hand rides so deep into this handgun that there is little to no muzzle flip. The way this trigger guard slopes up, your support hand fits perfectly. There is absolutely no movement on this gun when you actually lock it in. The slide release is in the right spot and angled just right so that when you are hugging that gun, you do not hit it and actuate it, so it always locks back. The sights, the trapezoidal sights, guys, some people may think it's gimmicky. I'm telling you, these sights, once you start to learn them, they're fantastic. They're the best sights, I think, in the market. We just need some night sights, Steyr. Overall, great gun. The trigger, some people don't like it because there's not a solid reset. Again, I would tell you that's not something you need to worry about. The gun shoots like a dream. If I had to pick one of these two as gun of the year, it's a really, really tough choice. Everything about these guns, for me, works perfectly. I've had a few bobbles with this. It's gone back to Cz and they've repaired it. Since then, I had no issues. Today, I had one small issue. The slide lock would not release the slide. I put a magazine in, tried to, slingshot the slide. This was locked in place, so I had to pull and drop the slide manually by holding this down. Again, just a small another bobble for Cz. Overall, the best gun for me of 2017 is the Steyr L9. Okay, sorry if this hurts your feelings, Cz guys, because I'm also a Cz guy. But I have to tell you that there has been absolutely no failures with this Steyr or the M9. Both combined have roughly probably 1,600 rounds between both. The only complaint I've ever had about this gun is the lack of texturing on the grip. Other than that, the sights are fantastic. The quality and craftsmanship of this gun is fantastic. And this damn gun is a dream to shoot. If you do not own a Steyr, I'm asking you all right now, save some money, go out and get yourself one. And I'm telling you, not because they're paying me to do it, because they're not, but because I believe in this gun so much, this gun will absolutely prove me right. I hate to say it that way, but it's true. So 2017 was a great year for handguns. I am so glad I've had the opportunity to own them, to shoot them, and to have fun with them. With that, I would like to tell you all Happy New Year. Tell me what you think is your gun of the year. Again, this is my opinion about what I shoot and what I enjoy about each. Every gun on this table are winners. If you own any of them, you're winning. If you own none of them, save some money, go out and get one. You will not be disappointed. There are some great guns out there right now that I still want to get my hands on. Unfortunately, we'll see how the money goes, and we'll see if I can get some more next year. But definitely look forward to doing more reviews. Definitely hope you guys have some comments that you want to leave below about which guns you think are the 2017 gun of the year. But for me, once again, the top gun, Steyr L9. I hope you guys have a Happy New Year. Stay safe out there. And as always, freedom is never free.